going to kickstart it off straight away by asking you, Will, have you ever suffered from a mental health issue?
Yeah, I'd say I have.
Are you going to leave it at that?
No, I will actually divulge some more information. Yeah, so I think there's a lot of things that happen in society that, of course, make it difficult for someone's mental health to stay on its optimal level. And unfortunately, some of those things like would be death around like family members or issues, troubles in relationships. So for me personally, my mum died,
Okay.
which was the 8th of March 2016, and it was quite a long drawn out death. It was Alzheimer's, and it was a big part of 12 years of my life that was emotionally difficult, and you kind of react and you behave in a certain way in which compartmentalizes things that you can't quite process at that given time, for whatever reasons. So I went through a distinctive period of time where I was struggling with my mental health. I felt quite depressed at times, frustrated, angry, confused, a lot of different elements of negative thoughts that
all
kind
the
of
thoughts you don't really want to be going
yeah
through your head.
Of course you don't want them to be going through your head. The reality of life is that you can't go through a life and live as a human being without some of those thoughts actually coming into play, you know. So I mean, it would be like you don't walk through an orchard of apples and a field of daisies every day of your life.
Yeah.
It's not life.
Sometimes you got to walk through nests of wasps.
Nests of wasps. Sometimes you got to trudge through some cow shit.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, and get stuck in it sometimes.
Sometimes. So realistically, you know, the kind of mental health, it wavers. I mean, I've actually used an analogy in a post on my Instagram of how a mental health is like as is an individual to a person as their fingerprint, except fingerprints are pretty much, you know, static in their sense that they don't change unless you're a criminal and you get them burnt off for whatever reasons. But with regards to your mental health and it being a fingerprint at any given time, but it can actually change. So it's a dynamic.
I like that.
It's a dynamic concept, you know. It's as an individual part of someone as their own fingerprint, but that fingerprint at any one moment can change because of the environment we're in, and then how that kind of like affects us emotionally, and how that can act, you know, be a destabilizing factor. So yeah, I have had times in my life where I've had trouble with kind of like my mental health, and I have support through friends, through family. I also have support with counselling as well. So I have someone that I go to, I sit in a room which is a very safe environment, and I get support emotionally in a very objective fashion. You know, there's no bias involved in the thoughts or feelings of the counsellor. It's a very exploratory objective approach, you know, so that can be hugely beneficial for people. So I think it can kind of get them to see and explore in a non-judged way, and kind of actually get to grips with certain things and say certain things, and it can be very emotionally cathartic in order to be able to re-equalize those thoughts and feelings, and kind of like process them accordingly.